Hello everybody, welcome to
Time Again Movie Show.
I'm back.
We're back with another action classic.
Of the week.
Action classic of the week. Last week we did Desperados.
And last week we told you we would be reviewing Equilibrium.
Christian Bale.
And Sean Bean. Not for very long, though. And so, you know what? You go ahead. You start.
So, Equilibrium is a movie that came out in 2002. Starring Christian Bale as the titular...
About 4 to 5 years before he did Batman Begins.
Yeah, starring Christian Bale as the main character. Now, Christian Bale's character is kind of this, let's just say, this specialist. Like, him and people like him are...
Clerics.
They go in, they take care of the badasses. They're the elite special force that they use to go in and clear out people who have feeling offenders. Because, you see, this is a dystopian world where a World War III has happened and it has really rocked the world. And we really don't see the world more outside of this small little...
And there was a man who believed that the reason why is because human emotion caused it. So what did he do? He created a wonder drug which basically made everyone not feel anymore.
So, like, and the idea behind this is like after this war happened, and like I said, you really don't see too much outside of this, this city.
Yeah.
But what you do see outside of the city is torn buildings and things that are like destroyed, and it's obviously got that post-apocalyptic vibe to it. But like Steph said, the solution that this man came up with called Father was to create this thing called what was the name of it? This yellow substance.
It was like PO something.
It had PO something.
It was like PO something. It was a weird letter and number. It was weird.
But when he created
it's like a little yellow vibe.
Yeah, but when he created this liquid suppresses all your emotions,
And you gotta take
touch and whatnot.
Twice. I think you gotta take like twice a day.
Yeah, and there's actually timers. Like everyone has watches that are synced to timer to take it, and you have to take it, and you have to take this. And he believes that this process will cause you not to feel anger or any of the other stuff, but you have to sacrifice joy and happiness
love and pleasure and all
for the sake of order and
peace
or what he sees as perceives as peace. Now, means to say Christian Bale's character is the best of the best. I mean, this guy is good. He's a badass. He's got that gun fu thing down. He's good at finding people with emotions because that's his training is to be able to read people, to see emotions in people. He's the best of the best. Mm-hmm. And up to this point in the story, in the beginning, he's never had any doubts. But his partner, played by Sean Bean, shows that he does have doubts, and it's revealed that his partner has feelings.
And even through the drug, you can kind of see even while he's on the drug, you can see that he is still capable of lying. He's still capable of he's still capable of doing things a human would do, but he just can't feel.
Yeah, he can't feel.
He can't feel the regret of say lying to a friend, or he can't feel or he can't feel the nervousness of lying to a superior. Like he can't feel that, but he can still lie and do.
But he wants to.
Mm-hmm, but he wants to.
He deep down wants to, and he doesn't he doesn't know how to, but he wants to. It's why when what happens with Sean Bean's character really propels him to
do what he does,
to explore this possibility of not being on this stuff.
Not being on this stuff, and it's a really interesting concept because everything about it is this movie came out 20 years ago, so full spoilers. He stops taking it. And it's a very subtle yet obvious detail. Like sometimes, when, for example, when he is able to touch things, he takes off his gloves and he slowly caresses things with his fingers. And others times where there's something that just says a couple words and you can just see a face change. It's very subtle.
Well, they're subtle with it because there's multiple times throughout the movies. Two examples are when Sean Bean's character, before he ends up eventually dying in the beginning, because he always dies. Yeah. But before he ends up dying, it was very apparent that there was this thing that they kept playing up was this word thing because at one point Christian Bale's character says something along the lines of, every time we go out here, it reminds me of why we do what we do, and he says, Sean Bean's character says, it does, but he says it in a way that's it does, really? Yeah. And then when Christian Bale character asks him again, what do you mean?
And then he's like, oh, it does.
He's like, it does.
He corrects himself because he's not taking.
And later on, after Christian Bale character has finally decided, I'm not going to take these drugs. I'm going to explore this feelings.
And at one point, the emotion is just And
at one point, he's pushing this girl, and he's like, "Look at yourself," and then he goes, "Look at yourself." But he says it two different ways. At first, he's like, "Look at yourself," like prosecution, and then he goes, "Look at yourself." He's looking at her too.
It's very good on how it delivers it. In terms of being a 20-year-old movie, I think it aged really well. Except for there's only one scene in the whole movie didn't quite age with the time. But
that's one of the first action sequences when he's kind of doing this.
But it was his gun.
It was just the way it was cut was very.
Yeah, it was the way it was cut was very strange, very a little bit dated. But other than that, that's about it. Like.
This is a high art kind of film in terms of the messaging behind it of emotions and the sacrifice, and like that emotions have led to many things. There's many emotions and religions and political things and selfishness and all these different emotions have led to some of the worst things. But it is what makes us human at the end of the day, and it's kind of like either there is no absolute answer, and like that's the pretty much like because that was these kingdoms, this place,
the city.
The father's solution was this very simple answer to a complicated question.
Yeah, it was a very simple answer to a complicated question because you end up, I guess, meeting the leader of the resistance, and you can see that he's very, very disciplined in how he controls his emotions. And he says to him, "Is like, look, like there are some of us that have to push it down to such a degree," and you can see eventually Christian Bale's character. I think his name is Preston.
Yeah, Preston.
Yeah, he eventually gets to a point to where he can now control it. To such a degree, and that scene was incredible.
Final act of this movie.
Yeah, the final act of this movie was incredible.
It's one of the best action sequences in an action movie. It's really one of the best shootouts. It's very high octane. It's very cool looking. It's like the way he's shooting his guns are very awesome. The way the guns work are very awesome. Yeah. There are a couple of really awesome action sequences throughout the course of this movie. But I was telling Seth that this is a high concept movie that has great action sequences in it. Does. Because when I want to watch this movie again, I remember when I was a kid, all I remembered was the action sequences in this movie. Yeah, watching
kind of like me. The only real scene I remembered for the longest time was like the ending, was like the final gunfight.
But when you watch the movie, you realize, like I said, this is a high concept movie. This is not like Desperado. Desperado is
very simple.
It's a revenge tale. You've seen it, you know it. It's a revenge tale with style. It has its own style, it has its own flavor, but it is just a revenge tale. It's a simple, straightforward revenge tale. This is not that. This has some higher, like high IP thing going with it.
A lot of messaging, a lot of symbolism, a lot
of symbolism. They ask you a lot of questions.
A lot of questions.
But
makes you think.
But at the same time, I think the action sequences are so good in this movie that this makes this an action movie classic to be. It's one of Christian Bale's best works. It's one of his best. It's one of the movies that he's done that I don't think gets enough talked about. There's many great Christian Bale roles, including the one he just did in Ford v Ferrari, which was
Ken Miles,
which was fan-fucking-tastic. They should have put him in for Best Supporting Actor. He probably would have won an Oscar. But I digress. They put him in for leading, which he got dominated, but he didn't win. But Joaquin Phoenix won. Anywho, but yeah, Christian Bale has done so many great things throughout the course of his career. He's done He's done like a ton of action movies. He has been in the Terminator franchise. Obviously, he did the Batman franchise. So he's done in like a ton of action things. But I do remember
he's not really what you would call an action star. He's not he's not a Stallone. He's not a Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, so, but I do remember seeing this movie and going, that was really cool. I liked his character. It was badass. I would be willing to see a sequel to this movie because it's obviously just the beginning of a revolution.
Yeah, because at the end of the movie, they blow up the drug factories, and I guess the resistance / I guess the people from the outside flood into the city and rise up, start blowing shit up, and he starts smiling.
Well, according to them, the plan basically was we're not going to be able to take down, because basically he's like, okay, we might not be able to kill the father, but then what? But he's like, but if we blow up those places that make this
drug for only one day,
people wouldn't take it for a day, and no one is going to go back to taking this shit.
Yeah, no one's going back to take it because everyone starts feeling again. Yeah, so it's like, and it was a genius plan. But I'm not at the very end when like the resistance starts storming, everyone starts killing all the guards. I'm like, they kind of defeated the purpose a little bit, but. Yeah.
Well, the guards were guarding the
Oh yeah, they're guarding the factory. Oh yeah, that's right. They were guarding the factory. My bad. Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say they were guarding. You were saying that when we were watching it, I was like, dude, they were guarding the factory. You can't. How can you blow up the factories if the guards are right there? They had to shoot them.
True. But now I guess with the factories blown up, everyone started feeling again. So that would, like I said, a sequel would be very, very interesting. Like this new world order of now, there's a society that can now feel emotion. So that would be interesting to delve into.
Like I say, the movie goes into a lot of things, a lot of philosophical things, a lot of interesting debates. It's an apocalyptic event, not too dissimilar to The Matrix in that way of how that happened and how.
Yeah, and like the 21st, and they pull that theme too. It's like it's just for some reason the 21st century is just the shittiest time for humanity.
But I'm gonna give my score here because I don't want these videos to go too long. My score for this movie as a movie is an 8. I think that the high concept is very interesting. I think that the high concept is a very, very interesting thing. I mean, it's been played up with many times in many other movies, but I do like it. I do like the apocalyptic vibe. I think that it aged very well.
It aged very well,
and I think that it's shot very well, though it's a bit over the top so at times.
It came out in 2002.
But it was shot very well. I personally think this is a better movie than Desperado. I love Desperado. This is a better movie than Desperado. As an action movie, I'd probably give it an 8 as well. I'll probably give it an 8. Look, you know what? I'll give it an 8.5. Because the action in this movie is really awesome. It's really awesome. It's really well done. When it kicks in and it hits. You know, I'm taking it back. I'm rising it up even higher.
Oh, damn.
I'm giving it a 9. The action in this movie is a 9. Now, the problem with this movie, why I can't go full 10 with the action, is because there's a lot of, because if you're gonna just go watch this movie for just the action,
you're not gonna get a lot of it.
Well, you're gonna get when it hits. It's awesome. But the problem is
it's not the whole movie.
It's not the whole movie. There are other things going on in this movie. There are other high concepts that if you're into, you'll love it. You'll get by it. I was into it and I loved it and I loved the concept and stuff, so I could roll with it. But if you're not, for normal people, this is probably gonna be like the action, this as an action.
Yeah, for the casual moviegoer, probably like a 7.
It's probably gonna be like a 7 because of the high concept things to get to the action.
And I can see a lot of critics being like, oh well, they can't decide whether they want to be a high concept movie or an action movie, and I can see a bunch of critics saying that too. So whatever. But as a action movie, well, as a movie in general, I was gonna give it an 8.5 as well. I thought that it does the Orwellian genre really well. It does the Orwellian genre very, very well. And now on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of age, it gets a 9.5. It's so close to a 10. Literally, only the kept for.
It really aged really well.
Super well.
Yeah, it really aged well.
So so age factor 9.5, movie factor 8.5. Guys, please, if you have Netflix, please see it.
You know how you make your movies ageless? Really, like you'll notice that movies that are ageless, a lot of them, at least most of them, are movies that take place in a world that's not our own.
Yeah.
Because you can't go, oh, that doesn't make any sense, because, well, it's not our world.
Yeah, true. But anyway, guys, so anyway, that was our opinion on Equilibrium. What did you think? Have you seen the movie? What did you think down in the comment section below? Deshaun, what movie are we seeing next week?
Next week, there's many options. There's many options on the table. I haven't completely sealed in, but I'm thinking of going to another classic. I'm thinking about going to another classic, but I'm having a hard time deciding between a classic that maybe no people have seen or a classic that's one of the pillars of this entire genre. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go with Lethal Weapon.
Oh, damn. Lethal Weapon.
The original buddy cop movie. I feel like...
Because Lethal Weapon technically is an action movie, too, but it also is a buddy cop movie.
It's an action movie. It's the transcender of the action movie. It pushed the genre into another new height, so I definitely have to review that movie. So
Lethal Weapon will probably be... So keep an eye out for next week for that for that movie as well. Deshaun will probably do another classic game or a classic horror movie by himself. I can only do this once a week, unfortunately. But anyway, guys, thank you for joining us on
Common Game Movie Show.
Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. You'll see more of us in the future. We shall see you
on the next one.
Goodbye.